boy, stop being lazy. Yeah, and I became creative. And I learned how to create it. And now that pride's for me. So come see. Oh, come here.
Welcome back to the Silver Lining Podcast. I'm your host, Sterlington. This is my co-host, Cam. How you doing, Cam?
Doing pretty good, man. It's been a good weekend. A little rain earlier today, but the sun is out, making the most of it.
Hey, man, that's how you got to do it, man. You got to take that thing one day at a time. Sometimes it rains, sometimes it's sunshine, but you got to make the most of it either way. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
All right. For those who don't already know, this is a Falcons podcast. We'll go ahead and edit the title one day to be the Silver Linings Falcons podcast. But big news, or kind of big news. I actually wasn't always sure how I felt about it, but we doing an episode about it anyway because we ain't got enough to talk about the Falcons that we like. Yeah, we excited for the season. So the Falcons 2025 schedule dropped this past Wednesday, and yeah, it's a lot of things going on there. So we see that we got 5 primetime games and 1 international game. So that's gonna be 6 times this year where the Falcons are the one team of the only game playing at that time slot. And there's still a chance one could get flexed to primetime. All right. So, Cam, what are your immediate thoughts on the seeing the Falcons 2025 schedule?
I like how we're coming out the blocks hot, baby. We're coming out with a test that I am looking forward to. Something that something that is going to dictate the direction of this season, and especially when it comes into the division. I am talking about week 1. Falcons versus Tampa Bay. The Falcons got the Tampa Bay at home. We've had the dome rocking, or the Benz rocking. We no longer have the dome anymore. We got the Benz rocking. It's new beginnings, baby. We got Penix at the helm, going against what I consider a pretty good quarterback, man. I've always been a Baker truther. I think he got wrongfully kicked out of Cleveland, and it goes to show, like, hey, karma's a you know what? Hey, they have been in QB purgatory ever since. Deshaun Watson didn't work out. They had like 4 QBs on their roster. Baker was the last good guy they had, and he has come to Tampa and he has been flourishing, man. He's rattled off a couple good seasons. Has an NFC South under his belt, NFC South title under his belt. Got some playoff wins. The Bucks are a good team, man, and they're gonna be fully healthy. So I'm looking forward to see how we can go toe to toe with them.
Yeah, man. Look, me too. It's an exciting game. Obviously, it being the first game of the year, first game at home of the year, first game, first season opener for Michael Penix Jr. And one of the underlying things about that game too that I'm interested to see. So just to talk about Falcons free agent moves, the Falcons signed undrafted free agent Michael Gonzalez from Louisville to the roster. Interesting move because surprisingly at this time of year, he's the only son on the roster. Right. Ryan Newsel has not signed his tender yet, which is I don't know if that means anything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe he hanging on because I mean it's not like he can do anything about it. You kind of just taking the tender and hopefully you got some dipping sauce for your tender because that's you're getting the tender. It's going down. You know what I'm saying? Falcons have right of first refusal. So maybe that's nothing, but we were asking about center depth. I mean, on the one hand, I'm like, I'm not excited about us signing an undrafted free agent center as competition. But on the other hand, the guy we got starting now is an undrafted free agent. So there's that. But another thing I wanted to point out was that Ryan Newsel is he's gonna have a big test. This is his first year starting the season as the starter. Now, one of the funny things that came up after Falcons rookie minicamp, they were talking to Dwayne Ledford, that's the Falcons O-line coach. He said Ryan News is the best athlete on the O-line. Now, he didn't necessarily say most athletic, like oh, this guy run the fastest, jump the highest, he lift the most weight. But he said any sport you play against him in, he's like amazing. So he's multifaceted. So I mean, Dwayne Leffert, honestly, when I heard that recommendation, that sign off on him, I was like, oh, okay, well, that's a recommendation. When I heard that sign off on Ryan Newsel, I was like, maybe Dwayne Leffert is the one who signed off that endorsement of Ryan Newsel. Maybe Dwayne Leffert is one of the ones they reached out. They said, hey, can we let Dolman go? You think we can run this with Ryan Newsel? And he was like, yeah, you know. But I just bring that up because it's Ryan Newsel's first start as far as starting the season. Michael Penix Jr. His first time starting the season. Those two have not played together, so we need those two to be able to get on the same page if we want to beat that Tampa Bay Buccaneers, especially with Vita Vea had to know it's right over it. You know what I'm saying? Now we do run a lot of pistols, so it's not going to be as big of an issue. You know, it's not like he's like right in his face immediately, but yeah, that's going to be one of the challenges. And then, like you said, we get Baker Mayfield. They bring him back. Pretty much the same offense. The biggest thing for them is that they're on their third offensive coordinator in 3 years. Now they hire well, admittedly. Dave Canales, Liam Cohen. Hey, I gotta admit it. They know how to hire for that. And so there's not necessarily a reason to think that they, they don't know how to hire for offensive coordinator. But it is the first game of the year, and it is going to be on the road for us. We're bringing back Zach Robinson. One of the things I'm really hoping, and what I'm looking forward to is seeing how Zach Robinson has grown, right? Because we remember last year in the season opener, that was a very winnable game against a playoff team. We played the Steelers. Um, but Zach Robinson was not doing the right thing. He was leaving Caleb McGarry out there by himself against TJ Watt. We basically only ran out of a pistol, and then every time we went shotgun, it was a pass, so we were tipping our hand. Like it was actually pretty bad play call game by Zach Robinson, but that was his very first game. And now we get his second off season. He got to coach 17 games and call 17 games. I'm very interested to see what he does. And Michael Penix Jr., look, we going against Todd Bowles. Cam, tell all the fans listening, all our listeners. How does Todd Bowles typically treat rookies?
He dog walk him.
Yeah. He said, hey, I'm coming for you. I'm sending everything I got for you. So I'm expecting to see Tampa Bay looking to try to attack Michael Penix, and I think we're gonna get a good chance to see Michael Penix Jr. Have to maybe, unfortunately, win a shootout. Now I know, we're hoping the defense is good enough that we don't have to win a shootout, but the facts are the facts. This is a defense that's gonna probably be trotting out, several first-time starters on the field for very meaningful snaps, and there's a good chance that they could struggle in the first game of the year. So yeah,
No, I completely agree, man. It's going to be a big test. That's honestly why when you asked me the initial reaction from the schedule, I said week one. Week one.
yeah,
That's the first one. Because if you want to think about it, like, and we can really dive into that, but just first glances, our schedule is very top heavy.
yeah.
In the sense where we got some tough competition right out of the gate.
Speaking of which, hold on, let me do this for the viewers. I really apologize for depriving you all of looking at my handsome face. But we got to go ahead and pull the schedule up. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up for us right now. So that anybody who was watching on YouTube, you can go ahead and watch that. All right, we got the schedule. Oh, okay, we in the corner.
Yeah, I love
Didn't
it.
see
We're still
that
up
coming.
here.
Yeah. All right, then we'll put that, block those Instagram comments. If you want to see
Okay.
Instagram comments for the schedule, why get your own Insta?
But yeah, man. Yeah, first glances, week one, right out the gate, we got Tampa Bay. That's kind of a big test. Week two, primetime game. We got
Prime time.
Minnesota. Hey, That can go either way. We got rookie v rookie as QB. Hey, we don't know what we're gonna get out of JJ McCarthy. Hell, we know a little bit more about Penix than we do JJ because he had a little 3 games.
Yeah.
But even still, we haven't had a full body of work yet. So this is going to be a very interesting season. Like, don't get me wrong. Like Penix is trending upwards. I'm loving what I'm seeing, especially from my OTAs. He's looking like he's developing a nice rapport with his receivers, and I'm loving that.
No, I think OTA is not till the end of the month.
Okay, well, whatever little workouts they had, I saw on Instagram.
Yeah, I saw some too. I don't
Yeah,
know
she,
what
she
the
was
hell
looking
that is,
good.
but I saw OTAs, and that's not until like the 28th. So I was like, what the hell is this from?
But heck, even still, all right, we got Tampa Bay, 1, Washington, Buffalo. Hey, out of our first, 5 games, 3 of them are playoff teams. 3 out of our first 5
Honestly,
games.
4 of them are playoff teams.
Yeah, because Minnesota made the playoffs too. They lost in that BS wildcard round. So
Yeah.
yeah,
They got the stuff
4
to
of
do
our
together.
top 5 games are against playoff teams. So yeah, that shows something. And we got a few primetime games in this mix too. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, that could be a little bit because of the I guess quote unquote quarterback controversy, considering we still got Kirk Cousins on the team. It adds a little
Yeah.
bit of the elements. But nevertheless, man, we got a rookie QB who has shown glimpses of I wouldn't say greatness, but shown glimpses of a guy who can get the job done. So we gotta see, man. We gotta see, man. We went out and spent an a first round pick at 8th on this guy last year, man. And granted, it's looking like it's paying off so far. Cause like if we had to pick a QB from this class, oh, I'd be pissed. But hey, man,
And
this
that's
is
no
gonna be a
disrespect to
very
them, but
interesting season,
yeah.
man. Because we're gonna see, are we still in QB purgatory, or have we finally escaped?
Yo, look, we'll see, we'll see. And you brought up some interesting things. So I saw that we had 5 primetime games and 1 international game. I wanted to know how'd you why do you think? Because you started to touch on it, and I was like, you know how I am, man. I got these thoughts swirling around up here. Now, what do you think got the Falcons 6 standalone games?
Well, we're a young team and we're a team with a lot of potential. A lot of good potential. Like we got Drake London, we got Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson is becoming a household name. He's easily the best player on our team. And we also have like I mentioned before, we have that QB controversy. We had Kirk Cousins, which we paid all that money for. And then on top of that, we went out and drafted Michael Penix. And lo and behold, Kirk Cousins' play falls off a cliff. And now we have reasons to play Michael Penix. And he looks good when he plays. Like the 3 games we played, the 3 games he played, he looks solid. Like he threw a couple picks, but they weren't necessarily his fault. They were just misreads with his receivers.
Right.
So it's all things like, oh, he can work on this. Oh, like he gets in the lab, he gets some first team reps, he comes in, who knows? This isn't the same kind of hype that we had with Desmond Ritter. We're like, oh, Desmond Ritter, we're gonna throw him out here. We got
Yeah,
we
we
got Ritter.
convinced ourselves
We got
already.
little Ritter Rowney out there. We're gonna throw him out there, see what we can get. Hey, we didn't get much. Don't get me wrong, I loved him. He tried his hardest. He gave the team everything. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Now with Penix, we getting a whole lot more. A big upgrade at quarterback, a potential upgrade. I'm not gonna say he's the guy just yet, but the reason we got those 5 primetime games is because it's looking like, hey, he may be that guy. He could be that guy. And we have the complementary pieces to potentially go on a little run. Our division is very winnable. We have a very winnable division, man. Tampa Bay is good, but I don't think they're good enough to run away with the division. Carolina is going to have a massive upgrade. I think Carolina's going to mess around and win. I think their ceiling is like 10 games. Truth be told, I don't think they're going to do it, but I think their ceiling, they can mess around and do it, man. Like Bryce Young kind of came into his own last year. It took him a minute, but he did. Baker Mayfield is going to have a good season. Luckily, the Saints, I think if I'm putting over under, I doubt the Saints win 5 games this year. The Saints, they're going to be terrible.
Yeah, but how many of them are going to be against us?
Yeah,
That's
the
the
only
real
games they're gonna play
question.
well are against us. But and lo and behold, look who our last game of the year is against the
Yep.
Saints. So it's gonna be some playoff implications on that last game. Believe that. I'm making a statement right now. I guarantee there'll be some playoff implications on that last game. But yeah, man. So I'm looking forward to this year. But yeah, the reason we got them 5 primetime games because we got a bunch of question marks, man. And people we gonna get some answers this year. Believe that.
All right, yeah. So look, I was thinking about that same you touched on a lot of things I was thinking, right? So I'll say, all right, what's the formula for wanting a team in prime time, right? For the NFL, right? They love a team that got a quarterback. We might have a young quarterback, they like that, but to put a cherry on top, we have a quarterback controversy. Controversy. It's only really a controversy if the quarterback's playing bad, but the way they could set up the schedule, bro, the storylines just feed themselves, right? Week 2, we're going against Kirk's old team, except this time the other guy's starting. Michael Penix Jr. starting this time. So you know they want that on prime time, and they want to put that camera on Kirk every time, right? And then we got what's the next one? The one against the Bills. Now that's to me, I guess a little foreshadowing. The toughest game on the schedule to me is that one against the Bills. Even though we're at home, I look at it as the toughest game on the schedule. The Bills are the kind of team where if you don't come ready to play, they're gonna pull out a chainsaw on you. They're gonna embarrass you. They're gonna carve you up. So that's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be a real true test for me. I think when I look at those first 5 games, we see 4 out of the 5 teams made the playoffs. We might start out real bad, but I'm like, well, let's really break it down, right? Falcons swept the Bucks, and in the Baker Mayfield era, the Falcons they have a winning record against the Bucks, and this game's at home, so there's that. Then there's the game against Minnesota. Now, granted, Minnesota, final score was 42-21. Looked like we got the stuffing beat out of us, but that game was 21-21 to start the fourth, and then Ray McLeod had to turn over, and then the game got out of hand, right? And that's a game where I'm like, hey, they not coming in there with the same team from last year, and neither are we. We made some improvements, I believe, and they are bringing in a new quarterback that's going to be a rookie in his second game, which is another reason why they want that. But also you get 2 quarterbacks from the same class, which is crazy too. If you look at how many first round quarterbacks from last year's class we are playing on this schedule, you see J.J. McCarthy for the Vikings, you see Jaden Daniels for the Commanders. You see Drake May for the Patriots. You see there's one more, isn't there? No, that's it.
Hey, Bryce Young as well. He's in his 3rd year.
Yeah, but Bryce Young, I'm talking about people from last year's draft class.
Oh, last
His
year's
actual
class. Okay,
draft
you're
mates.
right.
Like
You're right.
Michael Penix Jr., because there were 6 first round quarterbacks, and we're playing 3 of them. Michael Penix Jr. was one, Caleb Williams was the other one, and Bo Nix, who we played last year. But Michael Penix Jr. wasn't playing in that game. Now, then you go head forward and look at the 49ers game. Obviously, anytime, you get a chance to bring up Kyle Shanahan, anytime they get a chance to talk about how the 2016 season went and ended for the Falcons, they're going to want to do it. All right. And then we're going to have Kyle Shanahan facing, against the Falcons. And then, Raheem Morris and Kyle Shanahan were both on that staff, right? They were both on that same staff. So like that story writes itself. Plus, Brock Purdy and his, you know, $53 million a year contract. Congratulations to Brock. Get paid, young fella, right? Then we in Berlin, that's against the Colts. I think, we just got a big footprint in the international market there. So that's how we get in that one. If you go to the Bucks, prime time, we already know why that's going to be a prime time game. And then our last prime time game of the year is against the Rams, which is a game that becomes a lot more interesting after the draft. That yeah, that game right there. That game got a lot of draft implications for us, right? That's the Rams are a team that's typically in the playoffs. We're trying to get in the playoffs. That's a game where the Rams want to win because they, it's the end of the year. We're an NFC opponent, and they got our first round pick. You better believe they want to win that game. They win that game, we get a lower draft pick. They get a higher draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if we beat them, their original draft pick gets higher too. But they're like, no, we want y'all pick because we think y'all gonna suck. So yeah, so when you talk about that, you talk about having a quarterback controversy, but also last year the Falcons accounted themselves pretty well on prime time last year. They beat the Eagles, they played the Chiefs tight. Who else? We played the Commanders tight at the end of the year when that game got flexed. The Raiders game, we stunk up the joint. Good job, Kurt. I'm sorry, he didn't have to catch that straight. But what was the other primetime game? It was another good one. I think we won. The Bucks, Thursday night,
Mm-hmm.
overtime. Yeah, yeah. Them boys were like, okay, we can trust the Falcons to put up a good show on a primetime game, and they got quarterback trauma. It's like, all right, and they might be good. All right, we'll go ahead and show the Falcons some love. So I think that really helped us get all of those games. Um, Man, the
Also,
end.
one more point on that. Michael Penix does have an injury history. I wouldn't say he has injury concern, but he does have injury history. And there's a chance, hell, if Kirk is still on our team, there's a snowball chance in hell he fucks around and gets in the game.
No, no, and look, I feel like honestly, I'm glad you brought that up. 'Cause that was one of the things I was thinking yesterday when I was at work, but I forgot to jot it down. I was saying with us having Michael Penix Jr. and Kirk Cousins at quarterback, while it's a controversy, it also kind of ensures that we're gonna have a certain level of quarterback play for the entire year.
Exactly, which is
So
kind
they
of why I'm
like,
cool with him just being on the team. We already paying the man. Sit
well,
your ass on the
what I mean
bench.
is, I mean from the schedule maker's perspective, though, they're like, hey, you know what sucks when you schedule a team a bunch of primetime games and then the quarterback get hurt. Like when the Jets had all them primetime games when they first got Aaron Rodgers, and then Aaron Rodgers tears the Achilles on the first game of the year.
Boy,
Now you
4
got a bunch of
passes
Jets
to
games with Mike White at quarterback, Mike White and somebody else, Zach Wilson, Mike
oh
White.
my
It was like,
God, bro.
yeah, it was like, God damn it, that's not what we wanted. We thought we was gonna get Aaron Rodgers all year. So yeah, no, they nailed that the Falcons, and then if Michael Penix Jr. get hurt and Kirk Cousins playing well,
Oh. Oh.
I
Oh.
don't care who. Hey, if Kirk get in, I want him to do well. Hell, I wanted him to do well last year. We wouldn't even be talking about Michael Penix Jr. But it kind of fell off. He fell off bad for 5 games. But yeah, so yeah, man. Look, I see a lot of sauce on the schedule. Now what I will say is, yeah, that first set of games. Oh yeah, yeah. When we were going down the schedule, we got on the third game of the year. We get the Panthers. Obviously, that's gonna be a tough game. That's gonna be a road game. They were more physical than us, but it was still a close game. It was still a close game. It's not like that game was a game where we got smoked out of the breaks or anything. Same thing with Washington, another playoff team. It was not they had to win that game in overtime. If people remember that game, you really remember that game. We were in control of that game in the first half and at the start of the second. Then D'Angelo Malone got that penalty on that punt, and then Washington switched up the strategy.
Mm-hmm.
We were putting the cuffs on Jaden Daniels when they were always trying to throw. They resorted to using a bunch of yeah, yeah, ka-chink, ka-chink, put the cuffs on.
Cuffed his ass up.
Yeah. But then they started using more design quarterback runs and they found a lot of success with that. And now, we done changed up our personnel a little bit more where, we might be able to better handle those kind of plays. So that's something that's important right there. And also like, it's a little get back game for us, hopefully. Hopefully that's how they're looking at it. Then there's the Bills. I think that's a real tough game. We'll see what happens with the 49ers. I want to say they'll be healthy this time, but let's be real now. 49ers and lost Debo. Where the hell is Brandon Ayuk? Did he get traded?
He's still with them. He
He's
just
still with them,
requested
right?
his ACL.
Okay, yeah. I remember them talking about it, and then when he messed his leg up, it seemed like he was out of sight, out of mind. I stopped seeing him on the field. I started remembering if he was even a 49er.
Hey, this is what we're gonna see. We're gonna see if Brock Purdy is really worth the bag this year.
Yeah,
Because the 49ers lost a lot of talent on
they
both sides of
did.
the ball. We're gonna see. We're gonna see how much Brock was really worth. Because I personally don't think he's worth 53.
Yeah,
I think he's worth max 40. Max 40.
But
Really,
look,
I think he's a 30 million a year guy.
this is what I'll say. You pay him in the hard deal that hey, it's expensive now, but it'll be cheap later. See, that's what the Cowboys effed up. They paid Dak like 60 million a year. It's still expensive now. Even as his contract track coming in, it's still expensive.
And he ain't worth 60 million a year,
You know what I'm
bro.
saying? Like the idea is, all right, if we give him 50 mil now, then by the third year of his contract, that's not even gonna be that expensive for a quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
There used to be a line. I know this is kind of like off tangent, but there used to be like a line. I kind of like people used to say it's like the Andy Dalton line, and now that definition has changed considering Andy Dalton's position in the NFL has changed. Before the Andy Dalton line was, is he good or is he great? Now it's, is he good or is he a bench player? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of changed a bit, but like the original definition was is he good or is he great? And I think the quarterback to not accurately reflect that, in my opinion, would be like Kyler Murray.
Mm.
I think because like he's a guy like, do you pay all that money? Like Kyler Murray hasn't won a playoff game. Kyler Murray hasn't made the playoffs. Yeah, he's getting paid
No, I think they made the playoffs his first couple of years with Cliff Kingsbury. What happened? Well, I think they made the playoffs.
I don't think they did.
Damn, did they fall off all the way to both of them
they
years?
always fell off. They always collapsed towards the end of the year.
I
I don't
remember them
think
collapsing, but
made
they
the
didn't
playoffs.
even get. Oh man, because I started thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute, no, I don't remember Kyler Murray in the playoffs actually.
Exactly, dude. So I'm just like, don't get me wrong, Kyler Murray's a phenomenal player, but like, are we? The NFL is in a weird situation where you got guys who are good getting paid great money, and the thing is, there's only really like 5 quarterbacks in the league who should be getting paid great money.
And they're not in the
We keep it in the buck. Like Dak Prescott should not be getting paid great money. He's only good. Kyler Murray at one point was getting. I think his contract is still kind of up there. Getting paid
Yeah, it's still
money.
kind of up there.
Getting paid great money is only good. Hell, Kirk Cousins getting paid great money, only good. Kirk Cousins finessed the bag. There's a lot of quarterbacks you can say that about who have gotten paid great money and they are only good quarterbacks. Some of them got paid.
I would say Kirk Cousins, he highly paid, but I don't know if he getting paid great just because like he not even over 40 mil. You know what I'm saying?
Hell, some of these guys who are getting paid good money aren't even okay.
Yeah.
So like,
I think that's a more accurate way to describe Kirk. Yeah, right now.
So that's just like it's a little tangent. I don't want to go too far on it, but it's just it's a trend I've seen in the league, and like we're gonna find out about Brock Purdy this year.
No, we seeing the whole team's back. Yeah, because I mean, look, if you know the rules of this game, there's a salary cap. If you devoting that much money to that position, he better be a guy who can make up for certain deficiencies. He better be a guy who can create for himself as a runner, a guy who can extend plays. Because you know, hey, you couldn't afford that extra good O line this year, so you couldn't afford that extra good O line this year. So you better go ahead and get you a guy who can escape. Or you couldn't afford them extra good receivers this year. So you need to be able to be an accurate quarterback and throw guys open and throw guys against leverage. You know what I'm saying? So it's things that you got to be able to do as a quarterback to make up for deficiencies when they start sinking all that money in your position. And you are right. There's certain guys that they just don't fit that criteria and they can't do that. That's just the facts.
Trent Richardson isn't getting any younger, man. So I'm just like, we're going to find out.
Hold on, Trent Richardson?
Is Trent for the tackle for the 49ers? Trent
Williams.
My bad.
Trent
Wrong
Williams is a
Trent.
running back.
Wrong Trent, my bad.
I ain't
Trent
gonna lie, I
Williams
was
isn't
so
getting any
confused.
younger,
I was
man.
like, he's not getting any younger, but I don't think he plays in the league now. Who are we talking about again? Yeah, no, that happens all the time, man. Yeah, brother. So what's the three games that you would say are the most intriguing to you?
Yeah, let's talk about it. I would say Washington, Buffalo, San Fran. That right there, because our season is very top heavy. Those three teams. Granted, San Fran got hurt last year, so they couldn't. They fell off a cliff. But that 3 game stretch right there, Washington, Buffalo, and San Fran. If we can win one of those 3 games, I'd feel really confident about our team because after that we have pretty much from week 8 to I want to say week 14, and we can delve into this a little bit later, but just like a little synopsis. I think we can win every single one of those games. We got Miami, New England, the Colts, Carolina at home, Saints, Jets, Seattle. I think we can win every single one of those games. I think our schedule is very top heavy, but we play some very formidable competition at the beginning, which is why I said like that 3 game stretch of Washington, Buffalo, and San Fran will be like a real test for us. If we can get 2 of those games, I feel great. But if we can get one of those games, and what I really mean by one of those games, I really mean like Washington or Buffalo. If we can get one of those games, I'll be like, all right, we can compete with the big dogs. Because after we get done with that 3 game stretch, I think we can go on a nice little winning streak. And then we finish off the season with 4 games. And those 4 games of like Tampa Bay, Arizona, LA, and the Saints, I think we'll split those. Just I think we'll split those 4. So realistically, I think just given the season, like I'm feeling optimistic. I think we can go on a little tear. It's just how do we handle that first tough wave? How about you, man? What you think?
Yeah, so I'm actually more optimistic about the first tough wave, and I'm a little nervous about the week 8 and on part. Because the Falcons fucking excuse me, trying to clean it up on the podcast. So the Falcons always struggle with AFC teams. And then in that little post week 8 stretch, we get the Dolphins at home, we get the Patriots in Foxborough, and then we play the Colts in Berlin. And it's like, now watch Atlanta go 1-3 in that stretch.
Right.
I mean,
And that's
excuse
the
me,
stretch
one and
I'm
two.
like, oh, we should
Watch they
dog
only win
walk.
one of those 3 games. You know what I'm saying? And but I could see the Falcons, say you look at them first 5 games. I could see us nabbing victories over Washington and Tampa, and then maybe winning one of the 3 against the Vikings, the Panthers, and the Bills, and being on a high, or heck, even the 49ers. I can see us winning those and being in a pretty good spot starting out the season, and then we drop 2 of the next 3 against one of them AFC teams.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so I think we're gonna learn a lot about this team as far as like their ability to put it together. We just need them to hold serve in the beginning. Hopefully they can come out the gate prepared. I would love for this to be a situation where like when you talk about your quarterback who barely played last year and then he's starting this year. I would love for this to be like a Patrick Mahomes situation. He played like one
Yes.
game his rookie year, but as soon as he started his second year, he came out the gate swinging.
Oh my God, yes.
He
He was
came
like a
out the
player.
gate swinging.
He was a play away from making the Super Bowl his second year. Like if we keep
Yeah.
it a buck, they should have made it. But hey, Patriots
D
magic.
Ford, man. And you
Um,
know what was so crazy about D Ford? He had that same issue about jumping off sides in college. He had that same issue. And then wouldn't you god dang know it? It cost his pro team a chance to go to the Super Bowl. They shipped that man out of there. And got
Sure
Frank
did.
Clark instead and then won the Super Bowl next year. But yeah, man. Like I would love for this to be a situation where like it wasn't even just Patrick Mahomes, like the Chiefs playing well. Patrick Mahomes is individual numbers were astounding to
Oh
start
my
out.
God. I remember like the first game of the year, I think it was against like the
Yeah.
Steelers. And I was
But
like, oh, he's like diming them. He's like diming them up. And I didn't
yo,
like fully buy into it, but like I was like, okay,
and look,
this plan is working. And like our team is set up in a way to where that I hope that plan comes to fruition for us. Because you made a very good point. Preparedness. For once, I like to see our team come out in week one looking prepared.
oh man, if we could just do that.
Like Jesus,
Like
look like
I'm
y'all know what
hoping
y'all doing, bruh.
look, I'm just hoping we get Patrick Mahomes instead of Desmond Ritter. Because Desmond Ritter also started 4 games his rookie year and then came back the next year. Now the one thing I like about Penix that I think it gives us room for hope is he don't have a turnover bug. You know what I'm saying? He has
Yeah.
no fumbles. And 2 of the 3 picks he threw like those shits should count as receiver picks. I almost feel like you got to invent a stat called receiver picks because like that shit with Kyle Pitts being considered an interception is that's faulty stat keeping. That's faulty stat keeping. There is no way that should count as an interception, right? And then there was the one where it hit Ray McLeod, and that was also a pick. But one of the things I did see, we don't have any cold weather games. It really looks like. Honestly, I know that's normally like something you don't want Atlanta to have. I would like us to have cold weather games just so people could see how Penix throw the ball in that cold. I'm like, y'all boys think it's over. Or y'all boys think y'all off the hook because it's cold out. Y'all think the passing game that no, brother. Penix could throw that ball in the cold.
Hey,
You
he
ain't
played
off
in
the
Big
hook
Ten
yet.
and Pac-12. Don't forget it, Indiana and
Hey,
Washington.
hey, and look, those ain't exactly warm places in the winter. You know what I'm saying? I think with Indiana, he didn't really have any winter game, but yeah, he threw some cold, wet games in Washington. That ball's still flying off his hand. Honestly, if Penix just start getting his touch passes down, it's over for the league. Hopefully, he that's one of the things that he worked on in the off season.
And that's what I'm hoping with like Matt Ryan kind of coming in as a little mentor slash advisor, the council of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
The council, get Vic in here too. Get the council together.
Hey,
Call the
the,
council.
the other left-handed black quarterback with a rocket arm whose last name is 1 letter away from a male genitalia. I love that joke. That was a real funny observation. Whoever first put that together, God bless you. You're doing good. You're going to heaven.
Oh man, yeah, I'm loving it, dog. People are invested into Michael Penix's development. I love it because hey, Matt Ryan's in the building. I don't know how much we're gonna get Michael Vick in the building because I think he's a head coach at Norfolk State.
Yeah, he is.
But I'm sure I'm sure he'll get like a little Zoom call in there here and there. But yeah, I'm excited to see how Penix and Zach Robinson and our offense comes to fruition.
All right, awesome. Well, look like we're about out of time. So yeah, let's go ahead and get out of here, man. I really appreciate everybody for joining us today. Falcon schedule is some exciting talk. Can't wait to the next one. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the little bell when you want to know some real niggas uploading. Peace.